The manhwa opens in a warehouse surrounding. There's a breaking news: a man in his 40s have been arrested for kidnapping and imprisoning a child. The child was confined in this warehouse for over 12 years. The police have detained the suspect on charges of kidnapping, confinement and labor law violations. The security agents are seen escorting the suspect away from the scene. The area is tense, swarming with journalists eager for answers. They call out, asking questions, trying to make sense of the unfolding situation. But the police remain silent, offering no explanations. Instead, they advise the press to move away, refusing to respond to any inquiries. The victim appears disoriented, showing clear signs of both hearing and speech impairment. This detail has raised serious concerns among investigators, who now believe the perpetrators may have known about his condition before orchestrating the crime. It suggests a disturbing level of planning and intent. Inside the warehouse where the victim was found, the environment tells its own haunting story. Shelves and stacks of books fill the space, an unusual contrast to the violence that took place there. The injuries on the victim's body are severe, pointing to prolonged abuse. This wasn't a sudden or isolated act, it happened over time, hidden behind those walls. After the rescue, the victim was rushed to the hospital. He is now in stable condition, receiving the medical care he needs. But while his life has been spared, many questions remain unanswered. The silence from the authorities, the strange setting, and the condition of the victim all point to something far more complex than what's visible on the surface. In the hospital, journalists try to go to the patient's ward in order to interview and see how the victim is doing, but the security personnel won't let them in. The reporters try to force their way inside. They argue that they are here because they are hurt by the happenings too. Inside the ward, the victim can be seen on a bed. His name is Shin Woo-jin, 18 years old. A doctor and a nurse are beside him. The nurse tells the doctor that the male lead is suffering from malnutrition and multiple external infections. The one sitting down, who seems to be older, looks at the male lead and wonders why someone would do such a thing to a beautiful child like him. He was locked up and forced into labor for 12 years. The other nurse continues, saying that he also has hearing loss. The doctor sitting down scribbles a question on a writing pad and shows it to him. She is asking him for his name. He is silent. The nurse urges him to reply. Suddenly he tells them a weird name. They are surprised that he'd say such a thing. Well, that's the name he is usually called when he was still imprisoned. The nurse wonders why he will call himself that. She feels it's because of the brainwashing of 12 years. There are countless scars all over his body. She wonders what kind of abuse she suffered all these while. She feels those monsters that did this should all be sentenced to death. She looks at the medical report. They aren't that bad as she feared. She is relieved. She tells him that he is safe now, that he can sleep as much as he wants, adding that this place is safe. She stands up and tells him that she'll be back soon. The other nurse asks if he should take care of him, but she refuses, saying that she wants to take care of him herself. She runs out of the room to meet an array of reporters. They ask her a lot of questions, but she doesn't answer. She asks them what they're doing in front of patient's room. She wonders if someone's tragedy is their entertainment. She begs them to have some restraints. She asks the security guards how those reporters got in. She asks if their access cards were checked. She decides that she would report all of them for obstruction and trespassing. One of the reporters comment that it would have been better for them to go to the crime site instead. Later that day, the male lead is lying down in his bed. He's awake. He hears some noise and turns his head a little and sees an elderly man using a phone across the room. The man looks at him and comments that he has possibly have a rough life. The male lead looks at him without talking. The man feels that he cannot hear too. He comments that his life is going to be tough from now on. The male lead looks at him. A card is above his bed. His personal information is written there. His name is Kim Nam-sun, 57 years old, and he has open femoral fracture. His left leg is heavily bandaged. Left-handed with rough and day hands shows that his skin constantly dehydrated. The man looks at his phone and comments about someone who sent him a message. He feels that if the person cares too much he should come and visit him. The male lead continue observing him. No watch marks, no rings, no interest in accessories, works a physical job and has no spouse. Putting the pieces together, he was doing plastering job at a low rooftop and fell. As he fell, his left-handed instinctively directed his left foot to land first, but the femur couldn't withstand the force of the impact and shattered, protruding outwards. The male lead tries to think about the most appropriate first aid in this situation. The door opens and someone enters, breaking his thoughts. It's the doctor. She asks him if he has gotten some rest. She is with a tray of food and comments that he must be hungry. She places the food in front of him. She offers him fork and spoon, saying that she feels it would be easier for him. He continues staring at her without talking. She looks intently at him, his eyes slightly dropped at the corners, crow's feet forms at the edges, his cheek muscles lift upward. As she observes his facial expression, he also does same. She sees his smile, a symmetrical smile, a genuine smile, a sign that he doesn't see her as a threat. She tells him to eat as much as he wants, that no one would scold him anymore. He takes the spoon, still hesitant. She urges him, telling him that it's hospital food, that it might not taste great but he should still eat a lot. He begins to eat plenty to the amazement of the nurse and the elderly man. She advises him to slow down, that he will choke. He doesn't listen as he continues quickly till it finishes. She is surprised. She wonders how he had survived all this while. Her phone rings and she steps aside to pick it up. The caller tells her that the male lead's parents are here to see him. She turns to him and announces that his parents are here to see him. He looks on, expressionless. He mutters family and the doctor tells him yes, that a doctor will bring them in soon. She takes the tray and work out. The male lead looks at the clock. He begins to count how long it would take for his parents to reach him. He counted till it got to 1 minute and 22 seconds. Something in him speaks that it'll make sure he can hear them. He is physically frightened. He sees shadows from the glass and knows that his parents are close. The doctor bringing them in advises them to be calm, that the patient's stability is their utmost priority. They want to make sure Woo-jin doesn't get startled. His parents quickly agrees to follow the rules. The door opens and he sees his parents standing by it. His mother looks on at first as if seeing a ghost, then she runs to him, calling his name. His father follows suit. The doctor tries to calm them down but they aren't listening. They get to him and hug him. His mother apologizes, saying that she is sorry. She blames herself for what happened to him and thanks him for coming back. She tells him that she has missed him so much. Suddenly, he pushes them away and begins to cover his ears. His mother wonders what is wrong with him. She wonders if he's okay. He covers his ears, screaming as if he was in pain. Scene shows the male lead's family house. Inside, a young girl, Bommy, is speaking to someone on the phone. From the conversation we can guess that it's her mother. She tells her mother that the house is arranged and ready for the arrival. She ends the call and sit, thinking, her big brother is finally coming home today. What if it feels awkward? She didn't get to see him much at the hospital since he needed to rest. The way he talks and acts, it feels so unusual. She was just a baby back then, so she has no memories of her brother. She looks at her phone. The warehouse where her brother stayed is displayed there. Well, she feels he was stuck there for 12 years. If she was the one, she would probably behave like her brother. She remembers the doctor telling them that he doesn't seem to have any hearing loss. That's a relief for them at least. From where she sits, she hears the door opening. Her parents are back. She rushes to the door to meet them. Her mother enters first, announcing that they've brought her brother home. She happily welcomes them. Her mother comments that she must be starving, so she promises to get dinner ready immediately. Her father walks in, urging Woo-jin to follow suit. He does so and comes face to face with Bommy. She greets him, welcoming him back home. He stands there, silent and looking at her and the environment. The air is awkward and their father comes to the rescue, explaining that the male lead must be tired and feeling awkward after being away from home for too long. He points to his room, asking him if he remembers. He says yes. Their father asks him if he'd like to look around his room while spending time with his sister. Bommy is surprised by that offer. She doesn't want that. His mother whispers to her that this is the chance to get closer to her brother. She wants to help prepare dinner but her mother is insistent, saying that spending time with her brother is also part of helping her out. She pushes her gently towards the male lead's room, wishing her good luck. They both enter the room. Their mother is fixing dinner in the kitchen, while they're just standing in the room in silence. The male lead looks around. This is so awkward beyond what he imagined it would be. He looks around the room, assessing it. A bed, a window, a personal computer, chair. This is his room. Bommy tells him to look at the table. He turns to look at her first. She freezes. She notices that he looks even better in person than he did in the hospital. She picks up a phone from the table, telling him that it is his own and she will help show him how to operate it. They both sit and she begins to explain to him that the phone is off and shows him how to turn it on. She shows him their parents' number and hers too. She tells him that she'll delete hers, so he should try saving it himself. She passes the phone to him and he speaks formally, telling her that he understands. She is surprised at first, then tells him that he doesn't have to speak formally with her, that she's his kid sister. She turns off the phone and gives it to him. He starts the process all over and she directs him on how to save her number. She watches him input her number and she's shocked. She wonders if this is really the first time he is using a phone. His hands move faster than hers. He finishes and hands it back to her. He asks her if he did well, whether there's need for him to redo it. She says no, that he did absolutely well. She tells him that he is really smart. He picks up things AO quickly. She decides to show him how to search things in the internet. She opens the app for him and explains how it works. She gives the phone to him for him to search whatever he wants. He takes it and search for family. He goes to images and begins to see pictures of family members. Then he begins to understand things, his parents, his sister. A scent comes to him and he is curious. It's familiar. He wonders if it's perfume. The origin of perfume dates back to 5,000 years ago. It was first used in religious ceremonies as a medium for communication with the divine. Today's perfume are a blend of various aromatic compounds and solvents. They are used to appeal to others or create a personal image. He stands up slowly, whispering perfume. His sister wonders what he is talking about. He walks slowly out of the room, following the scent. His sister asks him where he is going to, but he doesn't reply. He walks out of the room to the kitchen. He feels the scent is incredible. Then he discovers it wasn't perfume, it was all food. He gets to the table that has an array of dishes. His mother turns around and welcomes him, saying that he came at the right time, adding that he must be hungry. She urges him to sit down, telling him that his dad made the stew, adding that it is so good that if someone dies while he is eating it, he won't even notice. Sitting down, he asks her if he is going to die if it eats it. His mother says no, that she was just explaining that the food is so good. Bommy walks in and her mother invites her to sit too. Their mother offers him a piece, and another. They're all happy that he is eating them. Scene shows an interrogation room. A detective tells the suspect that 5 years ago his family members started dying, one every year. He asks him if he has anything to say about that. The first was his wife, the second his mother. His sister-in-law also died from consuming a poisonous plant. 2 neighbors who were close also died. The suspect finally says something. He tells the detective that it wasn't him that caused the deaths. The detective continues, saying that mysterious deaths kept occurring around him. He points accusing fingers to him. The man who is handcuffed still stands his ground, saying that he isn't responsible for the deaths. The detective is angry that he is refusing to cooperate. The man cuts him short, asking what if the male lead is the killer. The detective is shocked. The man begins to get violent, trying to stand up. The detective orders him to sit down. The man tells him that it's the male lead who he kept and fed for 12 years that's responsible for the killings. The detective tells him to watch his tone. The man replies that he doesn't know what kind of monster the male lead really is. He screams, saying that it was all the male lead's doing. Later, after the meal, Woo-jin is in his room, using his phone. He clicks on the YouTube app. His sister had told him earlier that a lot of people watch it. He opens it and a video shows on the screen. The man on it is saying something and Woo-jin is trying to mimic him. He's learning new words. He scrolls to another video and sees a food he recognizes. A girl is eating it while making a video. She comments that the food is super tasty. The male lead tries to grab that word. Suddenly, there's a knock on the door. Bommy asks him what he is doing. She wants to come in. He strides to the door and opens it to meet her smiling face. He asks her if she called him, whether she needs help with something. She's surprised by that question. This makes her silent. He asks her if it's cleaning, if she needs help with that. She immediately tells him no, that he doesn't have to worry about that. She tells him that that's not the reason she is there. She asks him if he wants to go out for ice cream. He's surprised at first, wondering what she means. She explains to him that it's cold and super delicious, that he'll like it. She feels he has never had it before. They both step out to meet their parents in the sitting room. Her mother warns them not to go anywhere else. Their father tells Bommy to hold her brother's hand tightly and they should always stay together. She tells them that they'll be back soon. Woo-jin follows suit. They step out onto the street and start walking toward the store. Woo-jin is clearly amazed by everything around him. His eyes are wide, taking in the sights, the people, the movement. He's soaking it all in like it's his first time experiencing something this lively. As they approach the store, the excitement builds, and finally, they walk through the doors. Inside, the supermarket is buzzing with life. The shelves are packed with all kinds of items, snacks, drinks, fruits, toys, you name it. Woo-jin pauses, completely fascinated. He stands there, just staring around, taking it all in like he's inside a wonderland. His sister nudges him gently, reminding him to keep up. He snaps out of it and follows her through the aisles. Then, they arrive at the ice cream section. It's a colorful display, with rows and rows of different flavors and brands. Woo-jin's eyes light up. She tells him to go ahead and choose whichever one he wants. He steps closer, scanning the freezer. But there are just so many choices: chocolate, strawberry, cookies, and cream, rainbow swirl. It's overwhelming. He stands there, stuck, not sure which one to go for. Seeing him struggle, his sister walks over and kneels beside him. She smiles and points to one of them, saying it's her favorite and that it tastes really good. Woo-jin nods slowly, trusting her judgment. He takes the one she picked, holding it carefully like it's something precious. They start heading to the counter together. On the way, she glances at him and thinks for a moment. Maybe she should let him try paying on his own, maybe it's time to let him learn. But then she decides against it. Not yet. There's no need to rush, she wants to ease him into things gently. When they get to the register, she gathers all the ice cream together and asks for the price. The sales rep gives her the total, and she pays for everything with a calm smile. It's a small moment, but one filled with warmth and care. Woo-jin walks out of the store beside her, holding his ice cream, still amazed and happy. They step out of the store with their ice creams. Outside, a group of girls can be seen sitting down and taking ice cream. One of them draws their attention to the male lead and his sister. Meanwhile, Bommy is trying to help the male lead open his ice cream so that he will be able to have a taste. One of the girls comments that the male lead is so handsome. One suggests that she should go and get his number, but another stops her, warning her not to embarrass them. One of them comments that he must probably be walking with his girlfriend. Bommy notices the girls looking at her brother and she feels proud. She offers to help him open the ice cream since he was having a hard time opening his. He thanks her, but she tells him not to do that she is his younger sister. He agrees with her. She opens it and gives it to him, telling him to taste it. He takes it and puts in his mouth. He's silent for a while. His face is expressionless. She asks him if everything is okay. She wonders if it tastes weird or if it's so cold. She is regretting now. She feels she should have picked something else. She tells him that if he doesn't like it, he doesn't have to force himself to eat it. Suddenly he blurts out, "Tasty." She didn't hear well. He shouts this time, telling her that it's super tasty. She is surprised by the word he used. She wonders where he learnt it from. He begins to eat quickly. She advises him to eat slowly so that he won't choke. She suggests that they take a picture and he accepts. She takes a selfie of them and tells him that they should start going. They'd eat while they walk. She is happy that everything went well. Walking side by side on the lonely street, Bommy posts the picture on her group and her friends are having funny reactions. She's too engrossed in her phone that she didn't know when Woo-jin stops. She keeps going while he stands behind, watching. He sees a man standing in the dark just ahead of them. He looks suspicious with his mask and a cap. The man is staring intently at Bommy. The male lead looks at the man, observing him. He remembers seeing him on the day of his homecoming. His family didn't recognize the man, meaning they don't know him. He's not from around here. The male lead still observes him. His armpits are soaked with sweat, wrinkles on his pant knees. Pedal marks. The width of the marks is narrower than that of a bicycle, probably a motorcycle. There's no dirt on the ground there. He came from the other side. Just by looking at him, the male lead could tell that his job doesn't require strict time control. He's in his late 40s, delivers using an old motorcycle. The family doesn't know him and he is not a local. He's left-handed. He lives alone. The male lead immediately calls out to Bommy. She turns and is surprised to see him there. She asks him what he is doing just standing there. She asks him if he sees something. He replies no, telling her to just go inside first. She replies that it's late, that their mother would scold her if she goes in alone. She drags him gently on his arms, telling him that he is still not used to being outside alone. She continues, telling him that their mother is waiting. She wants them to go inside quickly. Hours later, Woo-jin is seen in his dark room looking out of the window. The street is dark and lonely. He stands there watching, as if looking out for something. Suddenly, he seems to be having a conversation with an unknown being inside him. The being tells him that this is his family, so he should stay out of it. He replies that it's his own. The voice tells him that he doesn't know how to protect his family, that him thinking about running to that guy on the street and tell him that he'd call the police is childish. The male lead replies that there are many ways to protect his family. He continues, calling the voice a monster, adding that he doesn't belong to this world. The voice replies that it did all things in order to survive, that if the male lead was as naive as him, he would have been dead already. Woo-jin replies that he could have survived on his own. He tells the voice that he never should have been born to the world. The voice asks him why he is calling it a monster when there's nothing he did that the male lead hasn't done. The male lead replies that he is the master of his body, that the voice is just another self he created. A reflection can be seen on the window. The voice laughs and replies that the body is his body, that he is not completely opposite of him. The male lead looks on, silent. Anxiety and fear is what he feeds on. Whenever fear and anxiety creeps in, it takes over him. But now, he can control it. If he can summon it from his subconscious, he can maximize his knowledge. A fierce beast with sharp fangs, but if he can take it. He speaks the word, summoning the beast to come forth. He looks from the window and sees the man he saw earlier, standing with an umbrella. He walks to the door quietly and exits the house. He walks to the street. It's drizzling. He walks past the man slowly, then he stops a few inches ahead, bringing his hand out. He comments that the rain is a gift from above, that even hiding one's presence is a skill. He continues, saying it was well prepared, that he planned this exact day. The man stops and asks him what he means. The male lead walks towards him and replies that he is making things boring. The man asks him who he is. Woo-jin replies that he is hurt by that question. He tells the man that he knows him well, that he delivers food, that he cross mountains on his motorcycle, that he creep around their villa looking like a stray dog. He asks him if it's only his sleeves that have cat furs on it. He wonders if he killed a stray cat as practice. The man is shocked by all this revelation of him. He asks the male lead who he is. The male lead is very close and hits him. He tells the man who is now on the floor that he shouldn't show up in front of him again. He opens his shirt and the man sees a lot of scars on his body. He tells the man that if he sees him around there again, he would carve those scars around his body. The man is terrified. Woo-jin tells him that if he understood what he said then he should stop lying there and run away. The man immediately stands up and runs away quickly. Woo-jin stands there looking at him run. He looks up to the rain and comments that it sounds nice. The next day the male lead is at home with his parents enjoying the time. Him and sister goes to get some snacks on the second day. The third day, she takes him to see a movie. They're having a lot of fun as she is trying to reintegrate him into the society. On the fourth day he's in his room with his sister, is answering some basic science questions. Bommy notices what he is doing and tells him that he has to read all the questions first before answering. He replies that he has read all of them. She wonders where he learned how to say that. She feels she did bad by teaching how to use YouTube. He finishes and gives it to her. She looks at it and feels he just guessed, but she still wants to show him how to check out the correct answers. They turn to the back of the book to check the answers. She's shocked that he had all them correct so quickly. She gives him a more harder one, telling him to try doing it. He starts and finishes within few minutes. She's surprised to discover that he had all of them correct. She exclaims that he is a genius. He replies that he isn't a genius, that he only wants to be normal. He continues, saying that it's hard to be normal but he still wants to be. He looks up and sees a picture of him. His mind goes back to when he was being tortured by his captors. He turns and looks at her. She tells him that what he went through must have been really tough for him. He looks at her intently and tells her not to be sad. He takes a sheet of paper and begins to scribble something. She asks him what he is doing but he doesn't reply. After a while he is done. He shows her the paper. She is surprised when she sees it. She reads it in amazement. Bommy, don't be sad, that lower body temperature can weaken her immune system. Sadness affects the tongue too, leading to weight gain and cardiovascular diseases. It also interacts with cortisol hormones, increasing stress levels and disrupting sleep quality. Since sadness activates the cell, the brain requires more energy, making one feel a bit tired. Sadness also leads to depression and She stops reading and turns to him, surprised. She asks him how he knew all of these. He replies that he read a lot of books. She's about to ask him another question when their mother announces that the food is ready. He quickly dashes out happily, leaving her in the room, is excited that they're eating meat for dinner. Their mother calls Bommy from the kitchen to come and join them. Later that night, the male lead is using his phone, watching some videos on YouTube. He clicks on Food Channel and sees a girl advertising her food making process. Immediately he clicks it to watch. He feels it will be super delicious. He watches her first video and discovers something. This made him click on her channel and watch more of her videos. He notices something profound. At last he comments that she is someone like him. He wonders if it would be considered normal if he acts on this. Earlier that day, his father has asked him what he wants to be in future. He interrupts and tells him that it's okay if he doesn't have an answer to that all that matters is for him to be healthy and safe. He had replied that he wants to be a normal person, a normal office worker. They applaud his choice, saying that he can be anything he wants. The next day, at the police station, the male lead can be seen walking to the building. He is pondering about the action he is about to take. He feels reporting someone is a normal thing to do. In an office, a detective is interrogating a deviant. He is accusing the young man of stealing, but the man is denying it. This is making the detective furious because he has video evidence of the man committing the crime. Woo-jin walks inside the office and greets the detective. The man is surprised. He doesn't recognize the male lead at first, then after a while, he recognizes him. He comments that he have grown up so much beyond recognition. He asks him how he is doing. A few weeks ago, he is the detective that rescued him from the warehouse and drove him to the hospital, assuring him that he's safe. Woo-jin smiles and replies that he is okay, attributing his well-being to the detective. The detective comments that he looks healthy and he speaks so well now. He tells his assistant to take the other holding cell. The suspect continues to say he isn't the one on the video, but the detective isn't getting that. As they take the suspect away, the male lead asks the detective if there's a kind of manual for criminals to read. The detective doesn't understand at first. Woo-jin continues, saying that criminals all tend to deny their crime at first. The detective understands and comments that they all say the same thing when they get caught, adding that they must be following the scripts. He asks Woo-jin how he is doing, asking if he misses him, and decides to find him. The male lead tells him that he has something to show him. The man is alarmed. He offers that they take a drink and go sit outside. The male lead declines and shows him something on his phone. The man looks on at first, then asks if he has started a YouTube video. He shows her the girl page, the girl he has been following for a long time. He tells the detective that that girl reminds him of himself. First, her eyes shift to the upper right. That means she is lying. At the same time, her fingers move towards her lips. It's showing sign of nervousness. Bringing her hand to her mouth while lying is often a subconscious attempt of trying to take back the lie. She's even slightly biting her lips. That typically happens when someone is nervous. He feeling nervous in front if food is a bit odd. Maybe she could be worried about how it tastes. He looks at her again and notices that her eyes shift to the right again. She's saying that the food is delicious, but her eyes are saying different things. Her actions are different from her words. He continues his observation, noticing the various signs that she is under captivity. She touches her necklace while boiling water. This is either stress relief or a subconscious action to regain psychological stability. The detective asks him what he is talking about. He tells him that the girl is asking for help. They watch another video and he could see more of the girl's reaction. He tells the detective that if they put together all those micro-expression and unconscious behavior, he feels it's too much of a coincidence. He continues, saying that she is being held captive just as he was. The detective isn't believing. The male lead tells him that at first she subtle hints through her hair, then through her head tie, and now, through the background. He comments that she is so courageous as time goes on. The detective asks him to explain what he is saying. He tells the man that the victim is probably in her early 20s. She either has no family or grew up in a troubled environment. He continues, saying that the perpetrators aren't just one person but multiple, that they're likely within their teenage years or early 20s. The male lead continues, saying the ringleader is in his 20s. She likely did not graduate middle school. The detective still doesn't understand. He asks him if he is saying that the girl was kidnapped. He asks if he knows them. The male lead replies that he doesn't know them, but he has been locked up for a long time too. that is why he can recognize the behavior of someone who is being confined. He asks the detective if he thinks coincidences can reveal the truth. The man looks at him, thinking that he is actually wasting his time. Woo-jin asks him if it is his mother that bought that cloth he is putting on, adding that his mother also bought his too. The man is shocked. He asks him how he knew that. The male lead replies that that is the first coincidence. He goes ahead to tell the man that the suspect inside the cell may not be a professional, but he is likely passionate about playing the violin or viola as a hobby. The man is surprised to hear that the guy plays an instrument as a hobby. The male lead replies yes, saying that if he is right, then that would be the second coincidence. The man laughs and asks him if he wants to be a profiler. He replies no, that he just wants to be a normal office worker, and right now, he is here to report something, so he is explaining things to persuade him. He tells the detective to ask the suspect he just sent to the holding cell about his hobby. He adds that after asking if he is wrong, he should be charged with obstruction of justice, that he will take full responsibility. The man smiles and says that there would be no need to charge him for that they go way back, so he can ask. He tells the male lead to wait while he walks to the holding cell. As the man walks to the cell, he wonders what he is doing. The male lead seems to speak so well now. He claims to know how confined people act. He touches his clothes and remembers that the male lead also told him that his mother bought it for him. He wonders how he guessed that. He gets to the cell and asks the suspect if he plays violin or viola. The guy replies yes, that he does that as a hobby. The detective is surprised. The suspect asks him if he investigated him that thoroughly, asking if he also searched his house. The detective is surprised. He wonders if the male lead is a psychic or what. The suspect still denies that he is the one who committed the crime. The man looks at him, wondering why he doesn't want to admit it. He had told him earlier that there is even a witness, but the guy is still denying the fact. The male lead, just by looking at the suspect, sees a lot of things about him. After some time, the detective steps out of the holding cell and heads back to his office. He looks around but notices something right away. Woo-jin isn't there. The chair's empty. He turns to his colleague and asks where the boy went, but the guy just shrugs. No idea. He didn't even notice Woo-jin leaving. Confused, the detective walks over to his desk, and that's when he spots something. A small piece of paper sitting right there. It's a note. He picks it up and reads it. It's from the male lead. The message is short but clever. He says this is the second coincidence. Then he asks, does the detective really need a third one? And right after that, he mentions something important, the YouTuber. He says she's been desperately asking for help. He even drops a phone number at the end of the note. Now the detective's face starts to change. He's not brushing it off anymore. This isn't just random. Two big coincidences, one after the other. It's too much to ignore. He stares at the note for a moment, thinking it all through. Then he turns to his colleague and tells him to pull up YouTube. It's time to look for the girl's channel. Something about this doesn't sit right, and for the first time, the detective seems like he's starting to take it seriously. The next day, Woo-jin is seen with his sister. They are standing at the bus stop, waiting patiently. Finally a bus comes by. They stride inside. Earlier, she had told him to get his transit card ready. As he enters inside slowly, he is deep in thoughts. This is the second time that he is a student. As he sits down, he recalls what transpired the day before. He was sitting with his father and his uncle. They are all having a good time. His uncle asks him if he wants to be an office worker. He replies yes, that he wants to be a normal office worker like the company he works at. His father had replied that that is not an ordinary company. His uncle comments that he heard he is great at studying, and he solved problems in seconds, so maybe that is the right place for him. Woo-jin asks him if he can take a tour and he said yes, that he can't deny his nephew that. He asks him when he intends to come. Back to present, this is the day he promised his uncle. He sits quietly, staring. He will be there in 4 stops, which will take about 32 minutes altogether. Finally he gets to his destination. He calls the detective to inform him that he have arrived. The voice tells him that he will be down in a second. He stands in front of a huge building. It is Shin Woo General Trading, a true conglomerate. He stands outside, observing the whole environment. Everything seems normal. This has been his dream, to live normally. Minutes later, his uncle comes outside to meet him. He greets him and asks him why he is waiting outside the lobby. The male lead thanks him for letting him visit. His uncle replies that it is nothing, that giving him a tour is the least he can do for him. They both walk inside together. They enter the wide reception hall. His uncle asks him if it is fascinating and he says yes. He tells him that there is a cafeteria in the basement, that they will check it out later. He begins to tell him about the building. This is Shin Woo-jin's headquarters. They also have branches across the country. Before he could finish talking, the male lead lists out the whole city where the branches are located. His uncle is surprised, asking if he already looked that all up. He replies yes. That to live a normal life, he realized that he needs to know a lot of things. That is why he thinks being normal is harder than it seems. They get to the elevators and his uncle tells him that they need to go up. He praises him, calling him smart. He explains that there are 5 elevators in the building. As they stand waiting, a voice asks if the male lead is the department's head son. His uncle immediately turns and sees a young girl. Hire him. He tells her that he isn't his son, but his nephew, that he just needed to deliver something. Woo-jin looks at her and comments that she is a high school student. She asks him what he is even saying, that it is obvious from the uniform that she is high school student. At that moment the elevators arrived and his uncle pushes him inside, telling Hiram that they will see later. He tells her to enjoy her lunch. They enter inside and it takes them to the top floor. The door opens and they enter an office hall. There are arrays of people sitting on their desks working. Woo-jin is amazed by that. His uncle feels it isn't surprising because he is used to it, but it would be surprising to his nephew. As they move around from desk to desk, people are talking and working on their desks. The male lead is taken to a chair and he sits behind a table. His uncle asks him if he feels like an office worker now. He says no, but he will work hard to become one in the future. Suddenly someone informs his uncle that a contract has been cancelled. He immediately calls for an emergency meeting at the conference room. He escorts the male lead to the cafeteria and apologizes that he would no longer be able to eat with him at the cafeteria because something urgent just came up. Woo-jin replies that it is fine, that he saw a lot of things already. He enters the elevator and is taken down to the first floor. As he gets down, he sees the girl again. He looks at her. It is 11 a.m. He feels a student shouldn't be here at this time. She doesn't seem intimidated by adults. She has a calm tone and relaxed expression. As he is about to walk past, she blocks his way, asking him if he has received what the department head sent for him. He looks at her again, observing. He sees that she is walking confidently. She blocks his way, controlling the space like it's her domain. Based on her actions, he feels she is related to a company executive, a high-ranking one. If she is related to a high-ranking executive, it wouldn't hurt to know who. He replies that he has gotten it. He tells her goodbye and begin to leave. She shouts at him to wait. He turns, and she asks him why isn't in school, whether he is skipping classes. He replies that he doesn't go to school. She is surprised to hear that, but he repeats it and begins to leave. She tells him to wait but he isn't happy with that. He asks her why she keeps stopping him. He tells her that he doesn't like wasting time, that he doesn't see any benefit talking to her, so he tells her to stop bothering him. He knows that when people are dismissed like this, they feel the need to prove their worth, so he wants her to tell him who she is related to. She looks at him and tells him that she is the CEO's daughter. Woo-jin feels satisfied, as expected. At times like this he should put on an expression, open his eyes slightly wider and part his lips just enough. He asks her if she really is. She asks him if she looks different now. She walks around him, inspecting him. He looks at her. After revealing her identity, she shamelessly inspects him, as if he were beneath her. She quickly regains control of her emotions. She asks him if he doesn't go to school. He says yes. She is happy. She tells him that she is bored, that she wants someone to hang out with her today. He observes her facial expression and discovers that she has a sneer. He feels it is greed. He thinks she sees him as a toy, but on the flip side, he can use that greed to control her like a marionette. She tells him that she haven't eaten yet, asking him if he wants to get something to eat. He discovers that she doesn't even give him a choice. He accepts and he feels that she might be a narcissist. She leads the way, telling him that she knows a great place, so they should go there. He asks her where it is located and she replies that he will find out once they get there. He walks on silently. She doesn't even give basic location details. The world revolves around her. Scene shows them in the restaurant. They are both sitting down discussing. She asks him if he is training to be an idol since he isn't going to school. He tells her no. She asks what he does then. He replies that he studies, that he is preparing all the jed. He asks her why she isn't in school. She replies that she got early leave because of that day. He notices that her pupil's shift left could be a lie. She brushes her hair back, an unconscious reaction to stress. People experience unconscious stress when they lie. He wonders what she means by that day. He asks her if she means the shedding of the uterine lining in response to hormonal changes. She is surprised to hear that. Before she could say any other thing, a waiter comes forward, asking them to place their order. She tells the waiter that she wants a 2-course meal. The male lead confirms his suspicion. She never gives him a choice. She has a strong desire to dominate others. She asks him what his name is. He tells her his name. She comments that it isn't a bad name. She tells him her name, Lee. Hire him. They are silent for a while and she asks him if he always talked this little. He says yes. She replies that it is boring. The waiter comes from behind her with the dish and serves them. Hire him, who is not aware of the waiter's presence, mistakenly touches her hand and flinches in fright. The waiter immediately apologizes and drops the plate, walking away quickly. The male lead tells the waiter that she is sensitive. Nothing much happened here. Hire him tries to pack her hair. While continuing their conversation, she tries to explain what she means by that day. He observes her and feels there's a high chance that she is lying. Her hairband falls off her hand to the ground and she bends to pick them, commenting that today's probably not her lucky day. He immediately stands up and shifts the table away. She asks him what he is doing and he replies that he's doing it so she won't hit her head. She looks at him and he comments that she must have had a rough day. She refuses to agree with him. She asks him why he is acting as if he knows it all. He tells her that her face looks tired. She replies telling him to worry about himself, that his face is so pale and he is practically a see-through. She urges him to start eating before it gets cold. He takes a sip. She asks him how it is. She wants to know if it tastes good. She feels the soup here is on par with Busan's K restaurant, adding that the rest isn't worth comparing. He listens to her and feels he has gotten her like a fish biting the bait if he backtracks here from here by repeating the other person's words to build rapport. He asks her who she went with and she replies that she went with an older friend. She asks him if he knows Kim Yena. He tells her that he has never heard of that. She's surprised to know that he has never heard of her. She asks him if he doesn't watch movies or YouTube. He is calmly sipping his soup. This is regression therapy, reviving past memories through questions to evoke happy emotions. He comments that it must have been nice seeing the ocean. She immediately accepts that it was a nice view, the fireworks all over the bridge, that it was like a painting, it was just art. He notices that the body and brain reminiscing the past are now flooded with dopamine. She continues, saying that in that moment, she felt like she was in a movie. He knows that the human brain can't distinguish between reality and imagination, like how would just thinking of a lemon makes one mouth water. That's the state she is now. Though she is sitting here, she speaks as if she is watching fireworks on a yacht. Just by leading her memories and listening, he becomes a source of her joy. She tells him that they were even heart-shaped fireworks, that they were hilarious. A waiter brings their main and serves them. They start eating. She asks him if he has traveled to anywhere before. He says no. She tells him that he needs to go, that last year she went to an island called Holbox. He tells her where the place is located. She agrees, saying that the beaches there are amazing and at night, the sky is packed with stars, almost like an aurora and the waves. He looks at her for a while, then he remembers that he has to go. He stands up and tells her that he needs to go and study. She is surprised that he wants to leave all of a sudden. She hopes he's not going to do shady stuffs. He tells her that it's just for the jed. He begins to walk away. She stops him, telling him not to go like that, that at least he should give her his number. She continues, saying that he hasn't been to Holbox Island before, so her number will be helpful when he travels, that she knows the good hotels and restaurants he'd need. He looks at her. She's addicted to hormones that bring her joy, and he's the one who can provide them. She might have attachment issues and lack strong family bonds. If he uses this properly, everything she knows will become his. He gives her his phone to input her number. She discovers that he didn't even put password. He thanks her for the food and walks to the door. She looks on, and decides to follow him. At the door outside, she tells him that they should at least walk together. Outside, she asks him where he is living. Just ahead of him, he sees a man stabbing someone else at a corner. His attention is focused on them and Hiram asks him what is wrong with him. As she comes forward, trying to see what he is looking at. He blocks her face and tells her not to look, that someone got stabbed with a knife. The thief sees them and begins to run away. Immediately the male lead follows suit, running to the injured man. He quickly covers the wound. Living a normal life, he begs the man to wait a little longer. He dials an emergency number and reports what just happened, that they should send paramedics and police too. He tells them the location. The male lead looks at the injured man. His pulse is rapidly increasing. The cerebrum is working to increase heart rate due to blood loss. He asks the man what his blood type is. He notices that internal bleeding is severe. The man tells him his blood type. A stab wound to the abdomen. There's severe bleeding, so an urgent transfusion is required. He tells the person on the other end that the victim has lost a lot of blood from the stabbing, so he'll need transfusion while being transported. He tells them the victim's blood type. The voice asks him where exactly the victim was stabbed and he tells him. They give him instructions and he replies that he has done that already. He holds still to the wound, waiting. Hiram comes closer and sees him. Living a normal life is really hard. Minutes later, the police and paramedics arrive the place. They are taking care of the victim and a policeman comes to ask the male lead few questions about the suspect. Woo-jin tells him that he saw the suspect. He had a short hair and was wearing a grey cap, that he was wearing a black collared t-shirt, he had a jeans on and weighed about 80 kilograms, that he was about 180 centimeters tall and his shoes were. The policeman cuts him short, telling him they should wait a second. He brings out his phone and tells him to repeat all what he said on the recorder. After telling him everything, the man asks for his contact information and it is relayed to him. He promises to be in touch with the male lead. From where he is standing, the male lead can see Hiram standing there, still in shock. He feels this must be her first time experiencing something like this. He turns and begins to walk towards her. For him, her state of mind right now is the perfect environment. A first-time experience like this, when faced with a shocking situation, one either stumbles or falls, unsure of what to do. Like a parent, he can immediately comfort Hiram. Right now, at this moment, there is no one else to take his place. He reaches her and asks her if she was shocked, assuring her that it is okay now. He feels this is the moment that would leave a strong impression, making her think of him. He touches her shoulder and tells her that luckily, the victim doesn't seem to be seriously injured, so she shouldn't be worried. And also the culprit didn't even see their faces, and he will be caught soon. There are a lot of CCTV cameras around. She couldn't say much, the only thing that comes out from her mouth is okay. Later that night in our girl's house, she is in the bathroom taking a bath. While on it, her mind shifts to what transpired earlier, how the male lead had behaved and how he assured her not to worry that the victim isn't injured. She finishes and walks to her dresser table. Her phone is there. She looks at it and remembers that she hasn't asked a question. Scene shows the male lead's house. He is in his room watching some videos on YouTube. As he watches, he learns a new word, seriously. He loves watching food videos and that is what he is doing today. Suddenly a message pops on his notification. It's from Hiram. She asks him if he got home safely. He replies that he is totally fine, and immediately tells her that he wants to go to bed, wishing her good night. He exits the app and goes back to YouTube. She sends him another message saying that it is too early to go to bed. He leaves the message unread, not wanting to exit the videos he is watching. The next day, he is eating with his family. His sister is preparing for school while his father is preparing for work. After they are done, he goes to his room and is solving some questions. He finishes the first book and is about to open the second book. His phone chimes. Keeping one's phone nearby is a golden rule, a must-follow habit in everyday life. Ignoring messages is just part of everyday life. On his screen, a message from Hiram is displayed there, but he ignores it. From his side eyes, he can see a bird standing just outside his window. He looks at the bird. He is deep in thoughts. A peaceful ordinary day. Since living a normal life is difficult, one have to work hard. A strange number calls him and he picks up immediately. The voice, claiming to be the manager of Kim Mi-young from the capital, tells him that he is calling regarding business or emergency fund loans. Woo-jin wonders if he just won something, then he remembers that it must be a scam. He remembers what to do with scammers. Keeping a serious face, he tells the man that he needs about 100 billion won. The man on the other end immediately ends the call. He is surprised to hear such requests. Woo-jin goes back to his seat. He feels it is good thing that he learned how to handle scams. As he is about to drop the phone, it rings again. he picks it up and tells the person that it is a system error. He feels it is the same scammer. A different voice on the other end tells him that he is from the police. He asks if he is Woo-jin, the student who reported the standing nearby. The male lead replies yes. The voice asks him if he is okay and he replies that he is fine. The voice tells him that they would like him to come to the station for a brief statement as a witness. Later that night, he opens his room door quietly. He speaks as if referring to someone. He says he will back, that this time, he won't be late like before, adding that he would come back every day without being late. At the police station, Woo-jin is called to the room where they are interrogating a suspect. He is in the outer room but he can't hear the suspect speak. He tells the detective that he was able to say all what he said that day because of the hat he saw. He tells the man to go with his gut feelings. The man asks him if the person behind the glass seems like the same person from that day. The male lead tries to say something, but the man switches on a button that let them hear the suspect's voice from behind the glass. Inside, the suspect tells the interrogator that he shouldn't have been picked, that the police just go around grabbing random people. He tells the man that he isn't the one. The male lead looks intently at the man. The man continues talking, saying he had never met the victim before, adding that he wouldn't do such a thing. He calls the police liars, that there is nothing to prove. The detective beside the male lead asks him what he thinks after hearing everything. The male lead, still looking intently, comments that the man is lying. If you're eager for the next chapter, drop a comment expressing your interest in a part 2. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Until next time, ciao.